If you have ever wondered how to build a business that can run without you, this conversation is for you. I also want you to think about if you've ever thought about jumping into an arena of building out a different area of your business, but maybe it feels intimidating on how to do that, or maybe it feels like you don't know how to jump into something that you've always dreamed of, but never had the ability that you thought to go and do that. This conversation is for you. And the reason why I bring that up is we are going to have an amazing conversation today. I want to welcome you to Her Best Life. And my name is Seychelle Van Poel, and I have the amazing Juliana SEELY here with me today. And we started these live streams to spotlight incredible women running big businesses and even bigger lives inside of our Empire Circle membership. And we want to show you exactly how it works, how Juliana's building this big life with her husband and her three amazing kids and SEELY and Associates, and also her building business. And so we're going to dive into that today. Jules, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited you're here with us.
Oh, thanks for the invitation. I love it. Super
I love
excited to
it.
be having the conversation with you.
Same. Well, Jules is the owner of SEELY Homes. And if you haven't Googled it, I want you to go check them out because they're based in Delaware and actually last month just sold their first home in Maryland as well. And
Yeah.
they're a custom home builder. It's incredible. She leads a team of 9 amazing humans. And in the last month alone, she closed over $1 million in construction revenue. And they have 9 beautiful custom homes. You have got to go follow her online because she has 9 gorgeous custom homes that are currently under construction right now. And they're expanding into new markets already, like Maryland this last month.
Mhm.
And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how in the last year she actually has been adding additional business lines and additional streams of revenue to better support their clientele, including a real estate team that they added last year to help better support their clients. So, Jules, I am so excited for this conversation today.
Oh, well,
So,
thank you.
when did you all start SEELY Homes as the custom home angle of your business?
Yeah, so the interesting thing about Sealy Homes is it's, in a way, it was an accidental business. We actually started it in the fall of 2019. I had just lost my job. I
Oh,
had just
wow.
become a real estate agent, and we were living in a space of very little income and not really sure of the future. And I had the opportunity where an investor approached me,
Mm,
and he knew I was in the real estate world. He knew I had sold homes and custom homes for other builders for 12 years. So I had a background in new home sales. That's my background. And he said, "Hey, I have these 2 properties in Bridgeville, Delaware. I want to build houses on them to sell. What do you think I should build?" So he was asking me as a realtor and someone
yeah.
who knew a lot about home design. So I proposed, I drew up, I got a plan online that I modified. I went to him with, here's a plan, here's the features I think you should put in it, including like flooring and siding colors. I went to him with the whole idea and I said, I think it would sell for this amount. And he was quite impressed. And he and his investor partner said, "Well, this sounds great, but we're busy. We don't really want to build it. Would you like to build it?" And I
Ooh,
sat back in my chair a little
yeah.
shocked because I've always been the one selling the
You're like, no,
homes.
no,
And
I
I
want to
knew,
sell it. I want to
yeah,
sell
yeah,
this.
I know, I
Yeah.
want to
No,
sell
no.
it. And I knew about the construction world quite a bit. I'd been very involved in permitting in Delaware and things like that. So my husband has more background on the construction management side of things. So I went home and it's a conversation and question he always likes to remind me of. I said, "Hey, do you want to help me build a couple homes? Like we manage it."
It's no
And
big deal. Super
yeah,
simple.
like no big deal. And next thing you know, he's like, "Sure." So we got into this with zero capital, no
Right
money
before
of our own,
COVID. So the fall
right before
before
COVID.
COVID starts.
So that's when the idea came.
Wow. Okay.
And Sealy Homes LLC actually formed January 2nd, 2020. So yeah, we
Oh my
started this
gosh.
business right before COVID. And so next thing you know, we're getting a business license, we're calling all these trade partners, getting quotes, And I came up, after calling about all these quotes, getting prices, I went back to the investor. This is what I thought it would cost to build, showed him what our fee would be to build. And next thing you know, we're breaking ground in early 2020. And, we're so excited and like, oh, look at us, we're going to build a home. I mean, when that first foundation went in the ground, I was like, pictures, videos, I was all about it.
Yeah.
And right from the get go, like right from that moment, I was on social media all the time. Like I was telling the world, look at us, we're building a house. And we put up, like we invested in a really nice sign. So two key things just off the bat was good signage. We created a logo, we created a website, we created signage, we created a Facebook page, like even from the first house.
You took it seriously from the first house. What I
I
love about
did.
that is you said, I'm going to treat this like a real business from my very first opportunity. I think that's
Yeah,
huge. That's huge. And you said, I'm going to tell the world about it. I'm not going to
yeah,
wait until we're 10 houses in to prove that we're
right.
successful. We're successful from day one, and we're going to paint that picture.
Yeah, exactly. We were live
So smart.
streaming that first foundation. I'm like, here we go. We were all in with the energy, and I really think that set the framework because after after we built those first two homes, which despite the craziness of COVID, you know, we actually those sold quickly because we know the market actually ended up picking up
Hmm.
in summer and fall of 2020. So those homes sold quickly for more than I estimated
You're like,
he
not
would make.
only did I do well, I'm a genius.
Yeah. So these investors sat back and did nothing but write me checks to build these
Hmm.
homes. And then in the end, they got a bigger paycheck and they did nothing. I made money, they made money. It was a win-win. So we
Yeah.
were we were off to a great start. And then those builds went so well, they began referring us to other people in the community, like at their church or people in the schools. And so within a year, we were designing and building custom homes for people.
That is
And
amazing.
yeah, and there is a longer story about how to for those people to get financing to build when you're a brand new builder because most banks do require 2 years in business. So there's a longer story there, but we figured it out every step of the way. We found a way to make it work, with
I
our
love that.
clients.
Well,
Yeah,
and so you said yes. Like you believed in yourself in doing something that you had enough, like I think this is something that a lot of men naturally do well that women can learn from. And that is that you said, I believe in my subject matter knowledge. I may not have the entire skill set yet, but I have the subject matter knowledge enough to be dangerous to take this risk to go after it because dang it, I am smart and I will figure it out.
that's
Right?
right.
And then you convincingly brought your amazing husband, Adrian, along with you for the ride, who had a complementary skill set. But this wasn't
Oh
like
yeah.
you guys set out for, like, we're going to go become custom home builders. It was like, yes to
No,
the opportunity. And then let's
right.
figure it out from there. I think that's amazing. And then
Yeah.
you told the world about it. You treated it professionally from the beginning and then said, let's spread by word of mouth and build trust with people that already know, like, and trust us in order to be able to then grow your clientele. So
Exactly.
you're growing in your second and third year, and I imagine that your workload is now starting to outpace your time capabilities. So
Absolutely.
what does that look like for you? Because oftentimes that's where people pull back and scale back and say, no, no, I can't take on as many clients, or no, we need to slow down. So what happens for you all?
Yeah, it was a quick uptick because it was very much thank you for bringing up my husband Adrian. We did this together, hand in hand. We both had strengths. I could sell and design and permit. He could manage more. We both did the pricing. So we were very much like working together and sometimes at odds, let's be honest. It was
Yeah,
not easy. And at the same time, I'm growing my real estate business because I had just got my real estate license. So I'm selling all this real estate on the side. I'm on a team and that's growing. We're building more homes. And within the first, it was about just less than a year and a half into forming Seely Homes, we had to make our first hire. And that was somebody to help me with the design part of the custom homes because I designed the floor plan, but to help people pick out their cabinets and their floors and their siding,
that
that
takes a
takes
lot of
hours and
time.
hours of time. And I simply didn't have it because I was
Yeah.
over here selling real estate and being a mom and all this stuff. And so we hired somebody to help do the design selections. And by the way, we were doing that out of the sunroom of our house for the first year and a half.
You're like, do I have a location for you?
Yeah.
Come in. We're going to make home feel like home because it's
Yeah,
our home. Yes.
here we go. And so then we made year two, we made a big commitment to lease an office space and actually build a little design studio in it. So by December of 2021, we were moving into a new office space, and I already had that person who could help answer phones and do selections. You know, I'd already
Amazing.
hired
Yeah.
that person. And then Adrian hired a guy to help him with the field work because he was getting so busy and paying all the bills. Because the number of invoices that come in when you're like building homes, like every trade partner is sending an invoice. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of money coming and
Well, and
going.
a lot
So
of trades need to get paid every
yeah,
Friday,
so
right?
Adrian
So,
managed that really well. So we hired those two people in year two. And then I'll be honest, I waited way too long to hire a salesperson. So I
tell
was
me
the
more about
main
that. Why do you say you waited too long? Like that, I
because
hear that in your voice, but a lot of people don't realize it's too long until it's too late. Why was
yeah,
it too long?
because so you know, like you said, I have three wonderful children at home. They're all school age, so we're in all the things, and so I'm growing a business, but I'm also the main sales rep for the business, and I'm
Hmm.
also the sales rep for like 20 to 30 real estate deals a year. And my head was spinning in so many directions. I was also on the school board. Like it was 22, 23, got to be out of control. And my eyes would twitch because I was so stressed.
Yeah.
but but business was doing good, and I didn't even pause long enough to look for help. Do
Hmm.
you know what I
You didn't
mean?
have the breathing room to. You were just
No.
doing.
And
Hmm.
that is a mistake. Like you need to like step back if you're like drowning in so much that you've got going on. Like it's a blessing, but you need to find the right support. So in February of 2024, I hired a full-time sales rep for Seely Homes, and she has been fantastic, a game changer. She actually just had a baby and came back from maternity leave this month. so so it was, and that also gave me a whole nother side of joy, because not only did I hire someone to really be more attentive to our clients than I could be, so she's serving them better, bringing in more sales, and then also I'm helping her create a life and an income stream that she didn't realize was possible. And this is and she had a background in sales but not in new homes, so I trained her all about new homes, and now she's phenomenal and our clients love her, and that's been great.
That's amazing.
So she came on board, and still like the real estate world and my personal life was a lot, so I hired a personal assistant then that fall of 2024. So I have a wonderful gal who helps me manage my emails and my calendars, and my she even helps pick up my kids from school. Sometimes she makes me lunches. Like she helps me with a lot of things.
Well, and what I'm hearing is a lot of times as female business owners, we think we need the help in the office. And what I'm hearing with that personal assistant hire or the executive assistant hire is that person's helping to manage on both sides because we carry the load. And I want to make sure I say this because I know Adrian is incredible. Your husband's incredibly involved with the kids.
Yes,
So
yes,
I want to make sure like I
1000%.
am amplifying him. He is fantastic and an
Yes,
amazing business partner for you and husband at home.
right.
And when you have two full-time working parents or one full-time working parent, there's oftentimes it's a female, you are responsible for the lunches and the dinners and the soccer practices and those things, in addition to the things that run the business. And so I
Yes,
love that you were strategic in hiring your executive assistant and asking for both because
yes.
oftentimes we think that they should be two separate worlds. And when we're entrepreneurs, a lot of times those go hand in hand and cross over.
Oh yeah. She does everything from pick up building permits and help apply for them and put together gift baskets for people to my personal stuff with the family. So it's wonderful to have somebody who can, switch gears and do a lot of things that
Do you
are
ever
a huge support.
feel, before you hired that role, did you feel any guilt with looking at hiring that person?
Yeah, I mean, it felt strange because I don't know that many people that have, a personal assistant. And really it was coming into the space of like Her Best Life and Empire Circle and talking to other high level women that I realized that that can be and should be a role that can help everyone's life be better. Not just mine, but my family. And if, you know, if I'm able to come to the table with energy and focus on my strengths and have somebody support in some other areas, it can make a huge difference for all of us. So yeah, it was a little strange at first, and I don't want to go back now.
Never going back. Well, I love that. And something that allows you not to have to go backwards is you've been very mindful with your revenue on when the business is ready to hire. How do
Yes.
you know when it's time to hire or when the business can support that next hire that's leverage for you all to keep doing what you do best?
That's a great question, and that's where my husband's strengths are. So we joke I'm really good at having the opportunity and bringing in the income and the sales.
Yes, you
He's
are.
really good at figuring out what to do with the money. So he knows where to save in money markets versus when we're like just having enough in a bank account to pay bills, and then when we're able to look at like, okay, year over year, how did we do this year compared to last year? Do we have enough in the budget to support, you know, another salary? And what would that look like? Will that help? Will that help with revenue? So it's not an exact science, but it's definitely the awareness of looking at your numbers, your profit and loss year over year, looking at making sure you're actually being profitable before you make the hire.
Which is a huge thing because you start
Yeah.
growing and income is coming in and not getting really good and clear with a profit and loss statement fast to figure out, am I profitable? Do I have the room as revenue is building is a really big part of that. So I'm really
Yeah.
proud of you both for being mindful with that because that is what creates the I don't have to go back
Yeah. Yeah,
part of that
exactly.
business. So
And part of the thing that I'm really big in is like visioning and goal setting with our team. So today, April 1st, we had our monthly team meeting right in the morning before this. So the first, usually Tuesday or Wednesday of every month, we sit down with our team for a couple hours. We usually treat them to breakfast or lunch. We have fun with it, but we're going over like what were our sales last month, what were our closings, what are we trying to do next month, how does this look in relation to our yearly goal. So today I was able to say, okay, first quarter's done, here's where we are on pace for the year. And
mhm.
so everyone has they have numbers in their head. As a team, they know where we are and where we're going. And so that's been a big part of helping us to grow year over year for the past 6 years. Sometimes, yeah, I wanted to grow more than we did, and at the same time, we did always grow, and we're on pace to do that again this year, even in a market where I feel like things are tightening up. The competition's getting pretty stiff. You know, like you can see the marketing is amping up with everybody, and so we've got to set ourselves apart as a great builder with a great product, good pricing, very competitive pricing. And what we do to try to kind of set ourselves apart too is our motto is better living made simple.
Hmm.
So our goal is to take a complicated experience. It can be custom home building can be overwhelming, especially if you're not partnered with the right builder.
Oh
Then
yeah.
the client is left to be wandering all over doing selections and, you know, figuring things out on their own. I hear that all the time with other people. We don't want that for our clients. We want to hold their hand and do as much as possible in house for them. And when they do need to do something that we can't handle for them, we give them the paperwork and tell them exactly where to go and how to do it. But typically, we're trying to be like all in
All
house,
encompassing.
where they come here, they do their selections for their home within a couple hours. Like if they need surveys ordered, septic systems, we do the designs. We lead and control the process for them so that they can hopefully not feel overwhelmed and intimidated. We want them to come in and say, oh, here's the house plan I like, here's the cabinet I like, and then we handle the rest. Essentially,
Yeah.
that's like we guide them to the lender. We really try to make it as easy as possible to build a custom home.
I I think that's magic first off because like I think about the our neighbors across the street from us did a full custom add-on remodel and it took them 2 years. I think in the middle of it like 3 or 4 times they thought, do we fire this builder in the
Oh
middle of it?
no.
because it went so poorly. There were so many things left over, and watching your experiences on your side, like when you give me your tagline of Better Living Made Simple, it not only does it alleviate that feeling of anxiety that I think a lot of people get when they think about the stress of building a custom home and what all it's going to require from them. I think with your knowledge of the back end of what it's going to take to have a sellable, amazing home for them to be able to resell down the road when they want to, but also the experience of we understand how to live in this home and what the design takes to be able to live in it effectively. And we can take the stress out of that. That is a huge value proposition for a customer.
Thank you.
I would love to see that in our market. Do you want to come to Dallas?
It's funny. We visit other places, and almost every state we go to, they say, "Oh, can you bring this to our state?" Because it really is. We have home plans on our internet that usually people can customize totally. You don't have to use one of those, but most people do, and we modify it
you've
to their
lived
needs.
before. There's a reason why that floor plan has been successful.
Yeah. We have two particular ones we're building over and over again. They're right around 2,000 to 2,300 square feet, one level, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home.
Oh,
It's like bread and butter. It's a home design that works so well for so many families. We get a lot of move-up buyers. A lot of our clients are young families who had the little house that they bought, the first time home, and now they're ready to build what they call a forever home. That's what we're building a lot of, and I love it. We have so many
really
babies being born from our clients.
You're like
It's kind of
literally
funny.
their houses are growing, their families are growing, we are growing, everyone's growing.
Three homes we closed on last year all got pregnant within the first 6 months of being in their home.
Are you adding this to your tagline?
I know, right?
Fertility.
But we love it. It's like such a joy to watch families like growing into their space, and we feel like most of our clients, they become like family to us, and we see them around in our communities and our schools. So it's something special. It really is.
It is really special. I have a question for you, speaking of growth. As your team has grown, we all know that our people around us grow to the extent we do. Like, how have you had to grow personally and professionally to be able to lead this organization from, incubator startup with a dream and an investor to where you are today?
That's such a good question, because the first couple years in the business, my husband kept saying to me, "You're just thinking like a sales rep. You're just thinking like a salesperson. You're a business owner now." And it actually took me several years to realize I had to shift my mindset from I just need to sell homes to I need to lead a business,
Yes.
with him. And where I had to find support, right? And I first started attending some Her Best Life events a few years ago, and I was in these rooms with a lot of female business owners, and some of the questions asked and conversations around leadership, net worth, like balance in your business and family. They were bigger conversations than I had before, and I've suddenly like, oh, I've got to read more about investing. I've got to understand more about leadership and good lead generation and marketing and how to set up systems. And so that has been something that I really needed, and I didn't know I needed for a while. And then just over a year and a half ago, I made the commitment and choice to join Empire Circle, which hugely, I think, moved the needle forward for me mentally, as well as creating relationships. Like the people, the women I'm around now, we get to have all these conversations about what it's like to lead and manage a team, as well as like have a lot of fun with our kids and plan epic vacations, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was all of a sudden I was listening to podcasts, reading books, watching videos that I just had never made time for before. It like it was totally different than being the sales rep. Being the leader and the business owner was a big mental shift.
I think that's incredibly relatable to a lot of people. And I think what I have observed is a business will take everything that you allow it to take, and also everything that you're willing to give it. It doesn't have boundaries. It doesn't have emotions. and
No.
it's amazing, right? It's this
Yeah.
amazing, awesome,
Yeah.
crazy journey. And all of a
Hmm.
sudden, when we get in the room with all of these really strong, powerful, abundant minded people that are not only building a thriving, profitable business, but they're talking about building that big life, building that legacy, building that wealth, which allows us to give back and to grow our communities and our marriages and, kids and all these other things. It raises the lid, and I think allows us to have more energy when we go back.
Oh yeah.
And watching that growth in you, you came in with a lot of um, this.
Anxiety.
Okay, that is not the word I was going to use.
Sorry, sorry.
I love that. That's true.
It
That's a
was.
real emotion. I actually observed like a ton of potential, compassion, commitment. Your ability to bring enthusiasm and buy-in into something that is a vision of yours is like unparalleled. Like
Oh.
your and belief for me, like you have this amazing ability to build belief in something, and to then see
Thank
that
you.
like skill set of yours be added on to the presence with your family, the like partnership with Adrian in your marriage and in your business, which I know takes a lot of extra work to do both,
Hmm.
to building this epic net worth and a legacy and all of these other things, and taking that natural skill set you have has been a true joy and reward on my side to watch.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, it's been amazing. And speaking of big life, what do you, just side note, what do you have coming up that's like big
Oh my
for you
goodness.
guys?
I'm so excited. So really, like where I'm at in life right now is I'm so thankful for this business and these wonderful people that surround us, and how it's actually giving me the space. Like my priority number one is my family, and I have an 11th grader, an 8th grader, and a 5th grader. So they're very active in
Yeah.
drama club and sports and all the things. So after this gets over at 4 o'clock, I'm going over to watch my daughter play soccer. So, I plan my business around my family's appointments.
I
Like
love that.
I'm taking them to the doctor. Going to their sports games, and what we're doing next week. So they're on spring break starting Friday, and I am so looking forward to our trip. We're going to do an epic Western road trip adventure. That's what
Yes.
I call
Yes.
it. And we're actually flying out west into Montana, and we're going to be touring Yellowstone National Park. We're going to be driving by the Grand Tetons, Zion National Park. So we're doing a road trip through multiple states and experiencing things we've never experienced before in the Western US. We're very East Coast, but we love to get out and travel. I've never seen the Grand Canyon. I've lived this long. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. So we're going to see the Grand Canyon. And I'm really looking forward to that. And the beautiful thing is, like, these wonderful people that surround us, we're going to be gone for a whole week. And I know our business is going to run just as good as if we were here. You know what I mean? The jobs are going to keep moving. We've got our project managers managing in the field. We've got our team in the office going to keep flow happening. I've got our sales reps here, and now I have like a second sales rep. And so it's great, like, to have a team around you that you can walk away from the business. Sure, they might have questions now and then, but to be able to spend quality time with our family. And we even set the expectation today. We're like, hey, we are going to be gone, and we're not really going to be as available for phone calls and emails because this is our family time. Couple weeks a year, family time, right? And then, throughout the week when we need.
Did you have anxiety the first time you did that?
um, I don't actually exactly remember when the first time we could leave without being concerned, like that what's going to happen when we're gone. Um, but I think, yeah, it's like when it was just a couple people that were working with us, like, you guys will be okay, right? Like, you'll be fine while we're gone. Just let us know. It was more like we were more eager to have them reach out if they needed us. We're more like, you got this.
I'm
Like,
leaving. I believe
I'm
in you.
leaving. You got it.
Well, and like leading from the front with that too also gives your team permission to take time for themselves too.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
We try to
we
give
have to
them.
model that from the front.
Yeah. Yeah. And we encourage that. Like, we want them to spend quality time with their families as well.
I
Yeah.
love that you're modeling that from the front. You know, for someone who's watching this right now and thinking they need to build a better team, but they haven't fully done it yet, or maybe they need to build out their team and haven't fully done it yet, what advice would you have for them?
I would say I think I had a hang up on like how do I find the right people,
Mm.
and I would say just start putting it out there, and you'll never know when someone's going to reach out. Like our first sales rep we hired, I had been looking and had interviewed a couple people and even put offers into a couple people that didn't work out, and I was disappointed. But then I got a message inbox from somebody I know. And it's like, oh, my daughter-in-law is looking for something, and I was like, have her send me my resume. So I would say just start putting the conversation out there and being open to where like employee leads might come from.
Yeah.
I did do some through like Indeed.com. I didn't find that super helpful, but we did make one really good hire from there, and
Nice.
she's our office manager now. She's really good with the money side of things too, and she's a huge support for Adrian. So the other thing is we leaned into the personalities and strengths testing. So we've through Empire Circle, I've learned more about the Gallup Strengths Assessment that I highly recommend anybody take and engage. It's been a game changer for how my husband and I work together, and now we have every member of our team take it, so we can understand more about them and how it all balances together. That's been really really wonderful. But
I
I would
love
also
that.
say don't rush it, because one of the things I found in this business is sometimes like I think I have the right hire or the right opportunity, like now we need to grow into something new, and I think I had these right opportunities, and sometimes doors don't open. Like you think it's going to be a good fit and then it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And that can be disappointing, but what I've found is it's like every time a door closes, there is a better one coming. It might be a
Hmm.
little further away than I wanted, but there's better opportunities that can sometimes come when one doesn't work out that you think should have.
I love that. Well, and if you're watching this right now and you have any questions for Jules, please feel free to put them in the chat as well, and we're happy to answer them for you as well. I know one that I actually got texted to me before we started was, you know, if you're looking at your strengths finders and you're trying to figure out like what is complementary, what skill set you need, like how do you go about doing the personal assessment of like what your strengths look like, and then building out that job description of what the next person is going to be that's going to come in and support you? Where did you start with that?
Well, it's almost like looking at my strengths. I know I don't actually want to hire someone with my same strengths. I don't
Mm.
want to hire a duplicate of me. I need to hire someone who's strong, like in the execution things, like the tactical getting things done. That's not a strength of mine. I'm more like, hey, let's meet the people. I have the big ideas. Like, one of
Yeah.
my strengths is activator. Like,
Yeah.
that means I put people into motion, because if it's left up to me to finish the task, it takes a really long time.
You're a good
So,
initiator. Yeah. Get
yeah.
it started, baby. Yeah.
So it's kind of almost acknowledging the areas where I'm not strong and hiring somebody who is strong in that.
Mhm.
And then you have a good complement. And you also have to realize sometimes you're also going to be very different personalities, and that's okay. That's
It's
kind of the point.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does speed ever play into your factoring when you're looking at building team members? Like you are a very quick to execution, very quick to action type of a person. Like once you've decided on a track, you're one of the fastest implementers I know. Does
Oh,
that factor into hiring at all when you're looking for people that are going to be complementary with your execute, like how you want things executed? Do you think about that at all?
um, I'm not sure about speed. Like I don't want to rush into a hire.
Right.
Um, but when I feel they're the right fit, then I'm like, okay, let's go.
Mhm.
You know.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure exactly how much that would be, but an example. So another person when I hired last fall was more for the real estate side. So we didn't talk about that a whole lot yet. So if I can
Yeah,
jump
please.
into that, so I had been, like I said, a realtor on a mega team on another team for 6 years. All while we're growing Seely Homes, I was an agent on this other team, and they were wonderful. I loved the team. They just grew so much that actually they weren't serving, like, it wasn't helping me. I needed like a person, not five people,
Yeah.
like all over the place to support me. So, so one of the gals I worked with there, we ended up partnering together really and starting Seely and Associates real estate team in September. So I hired her to handle like transaction coordination and like all like listing input, and she handles really everything paperwork side for real estate for me, and she's a licensed agent in Delaware and Maryland, so she can do showings. So
Nice.
she usually is working with my buyers. So we become like a really great real estate team, and I love like handling the listings a lot, like the listings side of things, and she still does the paperwork for it. So she has been a wonderful asset for our team as well. And that story I was telling you yesterday, somebody came in and they wanted to build a home, but they didn't have land. So I had my Seely Home sales rep helping them figure out what house plan they wanted. And then my realtor came in and said, "Here, let's look at the lots that are available on the market."
Yeah.
So that's where the both of those businesses work together so well. So we can help people who have nothing, like they don't have land, they don't have a house idea, they just have the idea that they want to build. They can walk in the door and we can help them figure out like where they could build and what they could build. So,
I I appreciate how you've looked at the consumer experience and then also looked at, okay, well, how do we add value and how do we add revenue streams into our business? And I remember when you were looking at making this hire at the end of last year, as you were starting the real estate side of things, not only were you very mindful to wanting to be like super respectful to your previous team and collaborative there, but you also had to thread the needle between finding someone that's operationally minded but also capable with sales. And that's a
yes.
very that's a very fine line.
Yeah.
And you had trust in someone that you felt like could do that,
Yes.
and belief in
Yes.
them, which is really cool.
She's great.
Yeah, she is
And
great.
very unique find, it's true.
It is. That's a very unique find. I remember asking, like, is she really good on the ops side or is she really good on sales side? And you were like, actually both. And I was like, that's a unicorn.
Yeah, it's
They're
great.
very rare that they're
If you
both.
met Darlene, you would know. She's
Yeah,
great.
I would love to. Hi, Darlene. Yes, I would love to. Well, and I think if this conversation you're listening today and this conversation's hitting you, and you're thinking about building a team, we're actually taking a lot of the notes from today, and you can comment or DM us the phrase "Dream Team," and we'll send you the Freedom Formula playbook where you can start applying this in your own business. A lot of the principles that Jules is talking about that she's done really beautifully in their business, we'll send you the Freedom Formula playbook. So all you have to do is just comment Dream Team and we'll send that to you to help you on your journey, because Jules has been so amazing and sharing a lot of her success and her lessons with us today, which is amazing. If someone's listening today, Jules, as we wrap up, and they're thinking about building their team, what advice would you have to them in getting started? Let's say they have one or two people on their team and they're looking to scale it to 10 or 20 people. What advice would you go back and say, if I could do it again, I would make sure I knew these few things?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the first thing for me was if you're like if your business is doing really well and you're growing and you have more than you can handle with sales and leads and opportunities, that's a wonderful thing. First of all,
Hmm.
great job, like lead generating. The second of all, don't sit there and stress and be overwhelmed. Like find time, find a way to talk to people, to look for, the right connection, a right teammate. Like make
Yeah.
time for it, because I took too long to do that. It really took my husband like, you've got to find somebody,
I'm
and then
feeling it. You have to find someone.
yeah, and then it was like once I did, then I was like, well that was so helpful. Like let's find more people, and um, it's just really wonderful when you can identify the things you're really good at, and then we've talked about this before. Make a not to do list of the things you don't want to do or you're not very good at, and then create a job description with that. Like, okay, what can I hire to do? Who can I hire to do these things? And so I think identifying the things that you really want to spend time on and that work well for you and then hiring someone to do the others. That's something I learned a lot from you all, but it's a very powerful tool.
I love that. Well, and Jules, I can't thank you enough for sharing your story today, and what you're building. And I love how intentional you are about building a business that's not only growing and serving amazing clients with your custom builds, but actually supports the life that you want to live to. I think that's such a gift, and it's just such a joy to watch you doing that. So, for those of you that are watching today, if you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you go follow Her Best Life so that you can enjoy more conversations like this. And make sure you go follow Julianna, on social media. But Jules, go follow her and watch along and join her in that journey, because she is just exploding with their business and building such an amazing product and team. You've got to go follow along with her journey, because it is just incredible, and I'm so incredibly proud of you. So we'll keep bringing you
Oh,
conversations like this with amazing women, who are building big businesses and even bigger lives. And Jules, from all of us as founders to you, I can't thank you enough for the conversation today, because I know it's going to move the
thank
needle for
you.
some amazing women too. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Bye, guys.
Appreciate you. Bye.